I'm so happy to be here. It feels so good to meet all of y'all. आप लोग हमेशा हमें इतना प्यार देते हैं और यहाँ पहुँचते ही हमने एक बहुत बड़ा और मज़ेदार मील खाया है तो वो बहुत अच्छा है आंध्रा बिरयानी आंध्रा पेपर चिकन पेपर डोसा तो खा पी के आए हैं अच्छे मूड में आए हैं आप सबसे मिलने के लिए अगेन सो सॉरी फॉर बीइंग लेट बट I couldn't resist the food so थोड़ा टाइम लग गया.
Like I said, your reason is extremely valid. So we will, with our big hearts, we will let you go there. Sunny sir, please.
Hello everyone, good evening. Again, cut copy paste, जो मैंने बोला. But you guys are just amazing and it's my first time in Hyderabad. Beautiful city, airport से जब आया तब मैं देख रहा था city को and it's just amazing. I think I will come here again just to visit it once. Baki, thank you so much for giving us so much love and yeah.
So first visit, but I've been here multiple number of times. I've shot for 12 or 14 of my films here in Hyderabad. And it's always been a pleasure to be here in Hyderabad. In fact, I love this city. At one point of time, I thought I'll buy a house here and settle here and probably shuttle from here to Bombay and here to Chennai. In fact, I'd even started seeing places out here and I was even allotted a land for studio out here because I shot my 12, 13, 14 films on the go. You know, in fact, simultaneously, 2, 3 films were always on floor and all were being shot here in Hyderabad.
Sir, for you and the association that you have with Hyderabad.
Of course, one more thing which we must not forget. My wife made a mark out here in the Telugu film industry, and that gives us a lot of hope that my daughter will get the same kind of love what my wife got. And I hope the film, my daughter, and the other actors of the film get the same amount of love what her films got in the past. We are here to make sure that the connect is still there. But it was my wife's Sri, now it is my daughter Janhvi. And I hope you all give us the same love and affection what you gave my wife.
We will, sir. Most definitely we will. And yes, Janhvi, coming to the film Mili, all of us are trying to know your reason for picking the film, picking this subject, because considering the number of films that you've been offered, what you pick will be the most important one. So what was your reason to do Mili?
I think it's a very beautiful, simple story, and I think more than anything, well, there were two deciding factors. First, of course, was the fact that it gave me an opportunity to really push myself as an actor. The setup was very new, and the scope of the role was very intimidating, so it felt like a challenge. And secondly, when Papa told me about the film, I still remember he called me up from a flight because he had seen it on a flight. And he called me up in tears because he was so moved by the film, and he kept telling me, the father and the daughter in this film, it's like me and you, it's exactly like me and you. So it felt like a very special film for my first collaboration with my father. And last but not the least, when I met Mathukutti Xavier, who was the director of this film, I honestly feel like he's a very, very, very gifted filmmaker. And I think I'm extremely lucky to have gotten the chance to work with him.
Wow. And Sunny sir, your reason to be part of Mili?
He wanted to work with me.
Yeah, that's my first reason to work with Janhvi. And the second and very important reason would be, even I watched the original film, Helen, and I absolutely fell in love with the film. Onisa called me actually that, beta, if you film and just watch the film and we are remaking it in Hindi. And, you know, I just want to be part of beautiful stories. And one really beautiful thing about Mili is that, yes, it's a survival film, but also it talks about relationships in a way which I haven't seen before, you know. So that was very important to me, and getting to collaborate with Punit, so I've been wanting to work with him since a very long time. He doesn't know this, but I'm telling him now. So I think it was a great opportunity working with Janhvi, Manoj sir, and obviously Mathukutti sir was directing it. So yeah, everything fell into place, and here I am.
Like I said, we all loved you guys in the song when we saw great chemistry, great performances. However, Janhvi, you have to tell us about the process, because from 2 degrees to minus 18 degrees is way too much. And we've been hearing a lot of things that the process that you have undergone. Can you please tell us more on that?
So Matusa was very clear that he wants to make sure that the environment is as real as possible because he thought that that would help the performance, and that's how he made the original film as well. So they had built a freezer for me, a cold storage room that was at about minus 15 to minus 18 degrees at all times. And we shot in it. We were supposed to shoot for 9 days. We ended up shooting for around 21 days in the cold storage room.
22 days.
22 days. And it was very difficult. It was very cold, it was suffocating, and it was honestly quite depressing. But those were all of the things that I had to feel as the character, so I think it helped, hopefully.
So I'm so sure your emotions translate in the movie, already watching the trailer and the photo. So I think Tanya will be taking a call of sensory acting in the trailer from the area.
Thank you.
Such an emotion here. और पापा की बेटी हुआ and you know पापा जब like I'm a radio jockey as well जब मैंने अपने पापा का इंटरव्यू लिया था I was very emotionally touched. तो पापा producer and you are in the actor's role. तो बताइए प्यार तो बिल्कुल घर पे बहुत मिलता है सेट पे पापा स्ट्रिक्ट प्रोड्यूसर थे या फिर वहाँ पे भी थोड़ी बहुत स्पेशल यू नो सनी को कम स्पेशल मिल रहा था आपको स्पेशल ज्यादा होता व्हाट वाज द सीन ऑफ पापा's रोल एज प्रोड्यूसर
नहीं, ऐसे कुछ नहीं है। पापा के किस्से तो आपने सुने ही होंगे। वो काफ़ी दिलदार प्रोड्यूसर है। तो वो इस फिल्म में भी मुझे पहली बार फर्स्ट हैंड एक्सपीरियंस हुआ कि वो कितने दिलदार है। सेट पे तो आई थिंक वो बस 2-3 बार आए लंच और डिनर ब्रेक के टाइम पे, मेरा लंच खा के चले गए। और आई थिंक मसूरी में
गलत 2-3 बार बॉम्बे में और
मसूरी में 3 बार, हाँ देहरादून में एक बार मैं और सनी आई थिंक ऊनो खेल रहे थे, तो वो बस वो गेम चेक करने आए और कहा कि सनी प्लीज डोंट चीट विथ माय डॉटर। तो बस वो गेम चेक करने और खाना खाने के लिए आए थे। अदर देन दैट आई थिंक लाइक आई सेड बहुत ही दिलदार प्रोड्यूसर है, बहुत ही क्रिएटिवली इन्वेस्टेड प्रोड्यूसर है, और जो झूठ वो अपने डायरेक्टर और क्रिएटिव फ्रीडम और सपोर्ट अपने एक्टर्स को देते हैं, I think it's unparalleled.
Wow, Janhvi, we love you and we love all three of you. I'm so sure Hyderabad का जो खाना आपने already खा लिया है, तो सनी मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूँगी, आपने कहा इस कहानी में एक रिलेशन जो एक बहुत ब्यूटीफुली आता है. So for you, you're playing the love and of course there's a beautiful father-daughter relationship as well. But for you, which is the USP जो आपको लगता है यार सब छोड़ के ये मूवी हमको देखनी है, and the best part is coming on OTT as well. So इसके बारे में क्या कहोगे?
No, it's later. It's actually a theatrical. So
Yes,
it's coming in theaters.
So much later it will come on OTT whenever it does. But I think the most beautiful part about the film, if you see, is Janhvi.
OTT को आप 10 बार हफ्ते के लिए भूल जाइए।
10 बार आपके भूल गया।
बहुत
अभी सिर्फ थिएटर्स पे आके देखिए।
Only in theaters, 4th November.
लेकिन सनी जी मेरा कोई तारीफ कर रहे थे, कंटिन्यू कीजिए।
So yeah, I think the best part about the film is out and out Janhvi, and the portions of the freezer, the way she's performed, and her and Manoj sir's relationship with the film is just beautiful. Like after the trailer, Dad told me this, that अगर मेरी बेटी होती तो क्या वो भी मेरे साथ ऐसे ही behave करती? And I was like, this is so sweet. If you want, I can be like that. But so I think it's Janhvi.
So guys, theater हम पहुंचे 4 तारीख को for sure. और ऑल द बेस्ट एंटायर स्टार कास्ट है। मेरे को पता है बहुत सारे लोग और सवाल पूछना चाहेंगे, पर मजा ही आ गया आप तीनों को यहाँ पे हैदराबाद। वापस जल्दी आइएगा एक और मूवी के साथ।
मजा आ गया आपकी बातें सुन के और आपके एंथुसियाज्म देखते तो और हमको भी जोश आ गया।
थैंक यू सो मच। तो फिर नाम नॉन स्टॉप लिखी है, तो बहुत सारा प्यार आप सभी को एंड रियली ब्लेस्ड।
मैं अगले जन्म में कोशिश करूँगा रेडियो जॉकी बन जाऊँ।
क्या बात है सर,
ताकि मेरे अंदर भी उतना ही जोश है जितना आपके अंदर।
सर इतना बोल दिया मेरा दिल मिल गया, सीरियसली।
क्या बात।
थैंक यू सो मच।
Thank you.
Yes, hi. Hi.
So how much remuneration you get from Papa?
You want to know the number?
I paid her more than what she got in her last few films.
Yeah, he was very generous to the point where I got stressed out. But it was very generous of him. But was I worth the money that you put in, Papa?
Yeah, I feel I underpaid you after watching it.
That's,
Because the kind of struggle she's gone through doing this film, becoming the part of, she's not played the role, she's become the part. And shooting in that freezer was next to impossible. She she was unwell for a couple of days, twice in between. My director was unwell for almost a week. He had just recovered from COVID, so his immunity was low. And yet he insisted on being in the freezer because the doctor told him See, you can watch the monitor which can be outside the freezer, but he said, no, when my actor is in the freezer, I want to feel the same. With his monkey cap and sweaters and jackets, he was there in the, just after 7 days of, I don't think he had fully recovered, but still there's the enthusiasm to be there to make sure that the shooting wraps up soon, and his concern for producers' money, which was really touching. He got back to the shoot and got back as intensely as he was shooting earlier before he fell in. That's what I told you. I mean, the freezer part was very difficult.
Yeah, I think what I meant, I don't think I said mental health issues. I think that's a very strong statement, a heavy thing to say, and I don't think anyone should use it as a statement lightly. What I said was that it was very heavy on me mentally and very taxing mentally. It was emotionally draining and physically very draining, is what I meant. So yeah, I mean, every day to wake up and spend 15 hours in a freezer, in a cold storage compartment, which is suffocating and cold, and to perform scenes where you're in a life and death situation, it does take a toll on you mentally a little bit. But that's a part of the job, and I'm very thankful I got to have that experience because I feel like now I'm stronger.
Now I can take it for a holiday to Alaska. You know, I shot one of my films there, and her mother used to freeze, and she used to tell me, it's so cold out here. And so were the actors. They were wearing jackets. But I wasn't wearing any jacket. I was wearing my normal clothes because I prefer the hills, mountains, and Alaska was great.
And you also have natural insulation. So see, I've said it many times and I'll say it again. It's who doesn't love Junior NTR, sir? He is such an icon and such a legend, and it would be a dream of mine to work with him.
We're all hoping that it comes true sometime. The next question, please.
Yeah, hi. Hi, Janhvi.
So,
Waiting for a big one.
You see, these are professional issues which cannot be discussed on public domain. So, well, there have been quite a few, offers, but nothing really worked out seriously.
but having said that, my keenness to work in the South has always been there. The South audience has given my mother and my father so much love, and I am such a fan of their cinema. So it's been a dream that I've had for very long to do a South film, and I hope something works out soon. And your first question about how my journey has been so far, I mean, I'd like to think it's just the start. And I think for a lot of people, because COVID happened, it took away 2 years. It slowed down a lot of things, and yeah, I'd like to think it's the start.
One sir. So you are waiting to launch in South from your.
See, I didn't launch her in Hindi. I was waiting to launch her in Hindi. So likewise, after she does 3-4 films in South, then I will make a South film. जब पक जाए, सीख जाए, समझ जाए, South का पूरा domain कैसा है, उसके बाद I want to work with her when she is accustomed to doing South film.
He's a smart businessman. He doesn't like taking risks.
Now talking, answering one of the questions which you put up to her about her journey, she probably wouldn't, or rather wouldn't agree with whenever I start talking about it. She doesn't want me to talk all what I talk about her journey. The journey is, you see, she's done Dalak, she's done Gunjan, she's done Jerry, she's done Ruhi, and one segment of Ghost Story. Now, if you put all those 5 films together, you'll know she's played different parts in all those 5 films. Well, one was just a OTT segment of Zoya Akhtar, Ghost Story. The other 4 were feature films. And all the feature films have earned enough for the producers. They've been major earners for all the producers. And I hope the same thing continues for Millie too. I'm the 5th producer and I hope I make at least the same amount of money or maybe a little more, a lot more, but not less than what they pay.
Whatever I ask, who want to play little roles or, glam role on screen, you are speaking like somebody who's picking up these glam roles on screen. So what is the constitution of kind of a role screenplay? How do you look at this, if you just say it back?
I mean, I think as an actor, every film that I've chased or every film that I've accepted, I think I try to look more at the scope that it offers me as an actor, and then consider vanity. In fact, I don't think vanity is a part of the conversation till at all even. So it just so happens, I think it's a coincidence that the roles that I've been attracted to so far have been of very real girls, and I think it would be distracting if in the freezer I was wearing a chiffon sari and full hair and makeup. I think that would defeat the purpose. So I take pride in, and in fact I find it exciting to become the character and be as real as possible. But I really do want to play the conventional, quintessential heroine soon as well in mainstream
And
cinema.
she's got a fantastic comedy talent like her mother. You know, she's actually been waiting for a good script to come her way where she can do all those comical things which her mother was so good at.
Sunny, आप बताइए, आपको हेलन देख के पहला what was the first thought that came into your mind?
Helen Dekhi, the first thought that came into my mind, I was like, my God, she actually survived. That was my first thought, because while I was watching the film, I remember thinking that this is not going to end well. But the way Mathur sir brought the whole thing together was just beautiful.
Hi Janhvi, what are you inspired by this movie?
I think one of my biggest learnings through the making of the film, and also I think the moral of the film in some ways, is that your mind and body can take a lot more than you think, and that आप जितना अपने आप को क्रेडिट देते हो, आप उससे कई ज़्यादा मजबूत और आपके अंदर उससे कई ज़्यादा हिम्मत है. And I think I learned this because, like I said before, shooting the portions in the freezer was so tough that I didn't think that I was capable of doing it, and it was very taxing. And the fact that we were able to do it, I realized that your mind and body can take a lot more than you think. And I think in many ways, that's also what the film, one of the things that the film alludes to. I'm also acting with a hero.
I am acting with a heroine.
I think after Dhadak, I think my aim, or what was really exciting me as an actor, was to take up a challenge and to push myself. I think more than to prove to other people, I wanted to prove to myself that I could take up a challenge and hopefully emerge out of it. So every time I heard of a story or got an offer that felt scary or daunting, I made it a point to take it up. And I don't, as a person, like being pigeonholed or put in a box. And I felt like I was put in a box after Dhadak, and I was put in another box after Gunjan, and I find it kind of exciting to go against what people expect of me and surprise them and surprise myself. Sorry. Soon, hopefully. You all also pray for me when my fingers are crossed.
Hi. Hi, thank you. I don't know what I mean. That's a googly bhega aapne. One thing that Janhvi is good at and one thing that she's not, right? Okay, one thing that she's good at is her energies on the set are just fantastic. I think it just holds the whole set together, and she's very easy. And obviously she's a fantastic actor. So those are three good things about her. And one, yeah, the toughest one. One thing that is not good about her. No, I'm being honest. This is why I'm taking. You want to know one good thing? That is one not good thing. But I genuinely don't have one. I, yeah, she was not punctual. She got late 2 times. नहीं यार, genuinely मुझे तो अभी तक नहीं ऐसा कुछ दिखा है where she's not good at something. At least how much ever we have interacted, and I hope that it doesn't break, you know, that thing. So. Me? Yeah, I think the greatest learning from the movie was the fact that we shouldn't take our relationships very for granted. You know, and that's a very big arc in the film as well, because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, so you should not keep your ego in front and just let things be easy and with all the love. So that was my learning with the film.
Oh, good thing I think that I just think he has a very calming energy. Like automatically when I'm around him, I feel like, oh, हाँ, life में सब अच्छा ही है. And I think he's extremely passionate about his work and very consumed by it. And he has a very purist approach to his work. And he is one of the very few people I've met in the industry who's not caught up in the noise and is actually just genuinely passionate about the art form, which I respect a lot. One not so good thing. I mean, it doesn't really bother anyone else, but I think for his own good, he should, he should start sleeping for longer hours. He doesn't sleep very
Yeah,
much.
that's one of my biggest problems in life. मुझे नींद नहीं आती 4 बजे से पहले.
Hello, Janhvi Garu. Hi. Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. This is Mahi, and first most love from Hyderabad, and love from me as well. And I have two questions actually. The first question: have you ever felt pressure like to carry legacy of Sridevi Garu still? And second one: why most of your movies inclined to actress-related stories? Is that your decision or what is the decision? I have to. Yeah. That's it.
So to answer your first question, I think it would be stupid and insulting to feel the pressure of my mom's legacy. I'm so proud of it, and I'm so thankful and grateful for the love that she's gotten, and through her I've gotten. I can't ignore that. And more than anything, I feel like if people are expecting me to be close to or to even match up to the level of acting or the level of cinema that she gave people, I'm being held to very high standards, and that's what I'm aspiring towards. I think it's impossible to reach there, but if that's the benchmark that everyone's holding me to, then at least I'll come close. So really, I think it's motivating. I mean, in life as an actor, you get compared to people all the time. मेरी खुशकिस्मती है कि मेरा दर्जा आई थिंक इस देश की सबसे बेहतरीन अभिनेत्री से हो रही है. I'm being compared to the best actress this country has ever seen. So I think I'm very lucky and I should be motivated by it and not pressured by it. And it's my mom's legacy. I'll be proud of it first and everything else comes later. And your second question, I forgot. Oh, story choosing. Um, I don't know. So, like I said, I was naturally gravitating towards stories that had a lot of scope for me to push myself and to challenge myself because that's what's exciting to me. I think people were expecting me to do certain kind of roles and certain kind of cinema, and I have a lot of respect and love for all of that as well. But I have higher expectations for myself, and I know I have a lot to offer, and I wanted to prove it to myself and to the audiences as well.
Hi, Janhvi.
Hi.
I'm Charan from Times of India. Projected to be India as a child class. How did you prepare yourself before the shoot? What is the thing to motivate you?
So my director didn't want me to prepare at all. He said Millie, my character, was not prepared when she got stuck in the cold storage unit. So even you don't be prepared at all. I'll just build the freezer and you just go in. And he actually had a very interesting way of shooting it. Every day we'd come on set and he'd say, okay, this is your activity for the day. This is how Millie is trying to survive today. This is where the camera is going to be, and then we just roll 15-minute long takes, and I just go through the whole thing as if I'm actually trying to get out of it. And the survival instinct in me it was all very visceral and real because in my head it was like the sooner I finish this activity, the sooner I'll finish the next activity and the sooner I'll get out of the freezer because we were already overtime in the freezer. So the urgency was very real, and so there was no real preparation as such. I've seen bits and pieces of it, yeah. I mean, I'm not aware what I have or have not brought from there. I think the process of making it has been similar. But I think Mathu sir was very clear that he wanted as much of my natural energy as possible to be there in the film. But I mean, I have to say, I think Anna's done an amazing job, and what she did with the role is so iconic, and I hope people accept me the same way.
Hello, Lakshmi. This is
Hi.
Hi, hi, hi.
Tom Tom podcast.
That's a great
Very
name.
cute. Oh.
thank you for that. But however, I always want to know if money is not a motivator, what would motivate us to do better in career as well? And I
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? I heard something that I'm sure you didn't say.
yeah, I did. If money is not a
Oh,
motivator,
money is not. I heard if Madhuri is not the motivator. I was like, why would he say that?
so if money is not a motivator, what would motivate us to do better for the next one, for tomorrow? I always wanted to know that, and as you see, both Sunny and you will pick up scripts that have a story to start with, and then try to make it commercially viable. And you've been so far successful doing it. So tell me, what is that one thing that people should look at while picking their work? Be it any acting, any craft that they're in. What would motivate you? What would push you to do what you do?
I think in a creative field, at least, it should be personal growth and the ability to move people. And I think the opportunity to be honest or tell your truth. Because I think at the end of the day, especially in an artistic field where you're putting out artwork, whether it's music, whether it's films, whether it's a piece of dance or a painting, I think I think you're telling your truth or your version of some kind of truth. And it's to educate audiences or people or to move them or to make them feel something. And I think that's what one's agenda should be when they're picking a film as well. If it's going to move them in any way, if it's going to offer them any personal growth, or if it's going to change, not maybe it doesn't have to be as big as changing an audience member's life, but at least move them to feel something that they wouldn't have felt before.
Sunny, what would push you to do what you do? If money is not a motivator.
If money is not a motivator, then I mean, see, when I started, I just wanted to entertain people, right? Because I've been a movie buff and I've watched a lot of films growing up, and I know how it feels when you watch something and you connect with something. You know, you forget who you are, you forget your worries, you forget everything outside the hall, and you're just there. You want to be that person, you want to be in that story, and you want to experience it with all your heart. And that's my main motivation, is to tell good stories, be a part of them, and in turn entertain people. And like Janhvi said, right? Just even if they just come and just a little bit, कि यार ये superb था. So that's enough. So if money is not a motivator, then I think that's my personal motivation. And otherwise, people have to find their own. Yeah, everybody has their own personal metric to what motivates them. So yeah.
Totally. We wish you more choices to do what you do now. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Tom Tom.
Right. Thank you. Before the last question, please. Sunny.
Father. So, what ratio you give the marks for Janhvi performance? As a father and a producer, so आप कितना marks देता है जानवी को? पहली बार किया ना?
As a father, I give her 11 out of 10, which is one more than the is hello. She's a dream of a daughter, and I'm proud of her. And every moment, I feel elated, proud whenever she decides to do something or does something. It need not be just on a professional front, even at home. Her choice of friends, her choice of doing things, sometimes her choice of even having the kind of food that she has. It amuses me, but at the same time, I feel good that she's open to have different cuisines. So, and as a producer, I am not just proud, I am overwhelmed with her choices and overwhelmed with the kind of work she's managed to put across. She's played all these parts given to her superbly, and I feel somewhere she is bound to reach a position which could make her mother proud of her too, wherever she is watching these, because she surely is watching her, blessing her like she is for the other children, I mean, Kushi too. So she's close to that, and I'm sure she up there is watching and blessing her and happy with the progress she has made. And so do I. I feel in her short career, it's been 4 years that she came on screen for the first time, but there was a lull in between for a year and a half, 2 years. In these 4 years, she's done 4 films. This is the 5th film, and every film she's done a different part, which itself is a big accomplishment. And she's done these different parts with a lot of aplomb, a lot of finesse, a lot of, and she's been appreciated. I mean, as a father, I may think that she's fantastic, but not just me. It is the audience, the critics, everybody has appreciated her in every film. In fact, they feel that she's growing with every film, which is what any father would want her children, I mean, his children, whether it's a boy or a girl. For me, I have Arjun also as an actor at home. Janhvi also is there. And now Khushi is coming up. I mean, what can give me more pride on all my 4 children in their fields, in their respective fields, are every moment giving me a thrill to look forward for future. And I'm sure I will finally see the glory of all my children achieving in whatever field they choose.
Janhvi, Janhvi, if you are given a chance to remake your mother's movie, what would be that? Which one?
Oh, I think I've said this before, and I think Papa said it before also. I don't think anyone should remake any of her films. I don't think anyone would do justice to it or even come close to what she's done. So I don't think anyone should attempt it, especially not me.
And she should be the last one attempting it too. Because it's impossible to match her, it's impossible. And then why should you get into an area where there is comparison? As it is, you see, when she came to Hindi films, she had done about 150, 200 films in South. And her journey in Hindi started in mid-80s, early 83 it started. So now from the first, second, third film, if you expect her to match up to her, it's very unfair. But at the same time, I'm sure somewhere deep in their hearts, everybody feels that she is, carving her own niche in the field of art, and the kind of work that she's done in the films she's done so far is commendable. And I'm sure, as I said earlier, her mother from up would be proud of her too.
Sorry, is there any...
Thank you so much, sir.